You're paying $20 a month for AI. You'd think they all work the same way. They don't. I've tested ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini side by side for months, and the differences are bigger than you'd expect. OpenAI with ChatGPT, Anthropic with Claude, and Google with Gemini. All three are powerful, but here's the thing. Each is built for completely different jobs. Claude is the quiet writer and coder that never gets enough credit. ChatGPT is the Swiss Army knife with every feature you can think of. And there is Gemini, the one with the best budget option that works perfectly inside Google's world. The real question isn't which AI is best. It's which AI is best for what you do. Let's figure that out. Let me be clear. Claude is noticeably better at writing than both ChatGPT and Gemini. Not slightly better, but noticeably better. Every blind test since mid-2025, where real people compared AI-written text side by side, has ranked Claude first. The problem with most AI writing is you can spot it from a mile away. Those long bullet point lists, the phrase, "in today's world," the careful endings that don't actually say anything. Claude doesn't do this. Its sentences vary naturally. Its arguments actually build on each other. And when you tell it to switch from formal to casual, it actually does it very well. ChatGPT is still good with GPT 5.5. That release in April 2026 is close behind. It's actually better at brainstorming ideas and mimicking someone else's writing style. Feed it with 3 sample paragraphs of your writing style, and it picks up your writing style faster than Claude does. For short marketing copywriter or social media posts where you need lots of versions quickly, ChatGPT will be a great option for it. But here's real test. When I give Claude and ChatGPT the same prompt for a long article, Claude's version consistently needs less editing before I'd publish it. For anything where prose quality matters, reports, emails, blog posts, Claude is the clear choice. Gemini can write, but it reads like a first draft, and you need to heavily rewrite it anyway so it won't good and only makes more jobs for you. There is a lot of question about when the AI doesn't know something. Does it admit it or not? Sometimes they will admit it and fix it, and the other will admit it and do the same mistake again. This is called calibration, knowing when you're right and when you're guessing. Claude is the best at this at some point. When your prompts are weird or Claude doesn't understand the prompt, they will tell you and asking for the answer before continuing the process. They will flag when they give an information that might be outdated, and they doesn't pretend to know things they doesn't know. ChatGPT, unfortunately, still has a real problem here. Independent testing shows ChatGPT actually has the highest hallucination rate ever recorded on one major benchmark, at 86%. That means ChatGPT will have a total confidence when they wrong, and pretending they were right. This happened on puzzle solving, math problems, logic puzzles, complex reasoning, and giving actual data. The difference shows up in what type of thinking you need. ChatGPT edges ahead on math with its special reasoning mode built from the O-series models. Claude wins when the problem involves using multiple tools in sequence without making mistakes. Gemini stands out when you give it both images and text together, since it was trained to handle visuals natively from the start. For research where you need current facts and real sources, Gemini's deep Google search connection gives it an advantage. But it doesn't mean that they will always give an actual data. Because most of the time, if we asking actual data, like how to 1 Bitcoin to USD right now, or how NVIDIA stocks price, Gemini will give a hallucination answer even after we ask them to do web fetch to sync the data. In other hand, Claude and ChatGPT can search the web too and give a better answer with it. Next, we will talk about if you write code for work. The answer is simple, and most people agree with it and say Claude wins in every sector of it. On SWE Bench, a test that uses a real GitHub issues to measure coding ability, Claude Opus 4.7 has been at the top through all of 2025 and 2026, defeat every existing AI right now. On Aider Polyglot, for editing code across multiple languages, it give a same result. On Terminal Bench, for shell-based automated coding, Claude also leads. This isn't one cherry-picked number, it's a consistent pattern in every test. The real advantage shows up in what developers call agentic coding. When the AI has to read your code, make changes, run tests, see what broke, and fix it. Claude makes fewer mistakes in this loop, which means fewer retries, which means the higher price per use actually costs less per finished task. ChatGPT is catching up fast. ChatGPT scored 82.7% on Terminal Bench, which is genuinely competitive. For quick one-shot coding questions like, write me a function that does X, and it's about as good as Claude. OpenAI with Codex tool is also solid if you work entirely inside their ecosystem. Gemini has improved significantly and is now practical for coding, especially if you build on Google Cloud or Firebase. Its real strength is context size. With 2 million tokens on Gemini 2.5 Pro, it can read an entire code base that would choke the other models. For code review across a massive project, that's genuinely useful. But for day-to-day coding tasks where you need reliable output on the first try, Claude remains the tool most professional developers reach for. This is where the three AIs become completely different products. ChatGPT is no longer just a chatbot. It's transformed into an all-in-one platform. Like, you can generate images with DALL-E directly in the chat. You can run Python code and analyze data. And there are several features that you can search in it. And there are hundreds of plugins and custom GPTs built by the community. It has advanced voice mode for natural conversation. And OpenAI also have Sora for video creation, a browser agent called Operator that performs tasks on real websites, and even a new personal finance feature, connecting to your bank via Plaid. And OpenAI also has Codex Mobile that lets you manage coding tasks from your phone, and it's free on every plan. In another hand, Gemini fights back with what no one else has, because Gemini has an VIP access to Google integration. If your team uses Gmail, Google Docs, Sheets, and Drive, Gemini works inside all of them, where there are Gemini in every Google product right now. In Gmail, Gemini can draft emails from your meeting notes, summarize your inbox, and help you build spreadsheet formulas without switching tabs. It also has Imagine for image creation and VO3 for video, which is one of the best video AI tools available. Claude's weakness here is obvious. No image generation, no voice mode, no video processing. Its integration system, called MCP, connects to tools like Google Drive and GitHub, but it takes setup. ChatGPT wins on features by a wide margin. Gemini wins if your life is inside Google Workspace. Claude is for people who just want to think and write without distractions. For regular users, all three cost about $20 a month. ChatGPT Plus at $20, Claude Pro at $20, Gemini Advanced at $19.99. At this level, you get access to each company's best model with reasonable usage limits. The choice here is about which AI's style and tools match your work, not about price. For developers, paying per use through the API makes price gap getting huge. Gemini Pro costs $1.25 per million input tokens and $10 per million output tokens. That's less than half of what Claude Opus charges, at $5 input and $25 output, And for ChatGPT, sits at $5 input and $30 output. And the B became the most expensive on output. If you process large volumes and pure quality isn't the deciding factor, Gemini saves serious money. For quality-critical work, where making fewer mistakes means finishing faster, Claude's higher rate often pays for itself. For the full feature set, ChatGPT justifies its cost through everything it bundles in. Many professionals I know just pay for two, Claude plus ChatGPT for $40 total, and that covers almost every use case you'll ever run into. There's no single winner in 2026. These are 3 different tools built for 3 different tasks based on their capabilities. Claude is your go-to for writing, reasoning, and coding. It was a pure intelligence work. ChatGPT is your platform for doing things like generating images, running code, using plugins, managing complex workflows. And Gemini is your Google native assistant, deeply integrated into the apps and you might already use every day, and the cheapest option. You try each one for a week and you'll develop a preference fast. If you do serious writing and coding, start with Claude Pro. If you need the full toolkit with image generation and voice, go ChatGPT Plus. If your team lives in Google Workspace, Gemini Advanced makes the most sense. And if you're serious about AI-powered work, consider paying for Claude and ChatGPT. $40 a month for 2 subscriptions that together cover almost everything. Drop a comment telling me which AI you use and why. Subscribe if you want more video like this, and I'll see you in the next one.